Now, in line with every Democrat, all right, so the Republicans are out there being like, hey, we should not import infinite diddlers into our country from third world places. We got the Democrats having a whole different strategy. They're like, actually, not only should we bring them in, but they should be voting. Yeah, we'll sacrifice a couple of children, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make. I mean, we already abort most of our children, so let's bring people in to make sure the other ones are dealt with as well. Democrat policies, ladies and gentlemen. So Gavin Newsom is crashing out at the Supreme Court ruling that we're actually going to be getting a lot more Republican districts because you're not allowed to do race-based districting. So he is, of course, framing it as Jim Crow 2.0, that it's a rush to silence black voters.
Stone-cold racism in a scale I never thought I'd see in my lifetime.
It's not racist. It's not actually racist to want to district people based on population, not based on race. It is racist if you're making special racial districts to give them additional power. That actually is racist. All right, like we have different definitions here, I guess. All right, my definition is all people are equal in the image of God. So therefore, we should district based on people. Your stance is actually black people will vote for us because they're poor and poor people love us and they're criminals and they grow for us. That sounds pretty racist to me, but that's the Democrat platform.
I've never have seen in my lifetime. It's all happening. Bring us back to a pre-1960s world. It's jaw-dropping what's happening. It was jaw-dropping what Governor Landry did. He suspended a primary election where tens of thousands of people had already voted. Why? To redistrict 2 districts to eliminate black representation.
Yeah, bro is crying about it, that they undid a voting that people did in Virginia where where 60% of the population voted to remove the rights from the other 40% of the population. They were like, no, actually, you can't do that. And now they're all crying about it because they really wanted to rape our country a little bit. And unfortunately, they couldn't rape us this time, so it was brutal. They hated that. The pro-rape party, they just don't like it when they get cock-blocked.
I can't believe that we're experiencing this. My parents talked to me about this.
Not yet. You continue bitching about it, and we'll get there. All right? I don't think you understand. Nothing radicalizes people to the far right like the far left. I'm sorry, man. You continue chopping the dicks off children and doing all your weird child sacrifice shit on the abortion operating table, and you will radicalize the shit out of everybody. All right, you are trying so fucking hard to radicalize people to the right. Everything that you're talking about right now, while it's not happening, but it will happen. All right, you continue talking about it, we will get there. What about concentration camps for trans people? Well, yeah, sorry, into the camps you go. Trump is gonna kill you. I don't make the rules.
I said, well, thank God it's not going to happen on my lifetime. And it's happening.
That's right. You're going to probably radicalize people to get there in like 20, 30 years.
In real time. Anti-woke is anti-black. All these attacks on...
No, anti-woke is pro-reality and anti-hedonism.
DEI, it's anti-black.
No, anti-DEI is pro-fairness and not retard racism.
Level of racism is sick. Rewriting history, censoring historical fact.
What historical fact is being censored? Bro thinks that Trump is fucking Emu from One Piece erasing history. All right, bro. bro really thinks that. Like, he'll sit here and be like, the country was actually built by black people and Greek people were actually black people. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. This was on The View just now.
This idea was also explored in a book called Black Athena. I think people should read it, which argues that classical Greek culture is heavily indebted to Afro-Asiatic and Near Eastern roots. I actually taught Greek mythology to 8th graders. And so I covered this.
Fun fact.
So people that...
I taught Greek mythology to 8th graders. I taught them that Athena was black and that Greek culture is black culture.
...are saying that Helen of Troy could not possibly be played by a black woman don't know history.
But what is it?
That's right. The smug libtard look. Oh, that's right. Obviously, the Greeks took it all from black culture. Anyway, back to them explaining to us how actually we're erasing history or whatever.
African Americans have been eliminated from key positions and posts.
Actually, black African Americans literally got more positions because of this. We now have a Republican black woman in charge of one of the districts that was just recently added.
Pentagon and elsewhere, it's sick. It's happening in the United States of America in the open, and it needs to be called out. So forgive me for reacting this way. And I feel deep responsibility to do something about this, and nothing to do with me as governor, just as a human being.
He's so brave. He's so brave.
This is not why our founding fathers lived and died. It was about the expansion of liberty.
Actually, they had slaves. Anyway, Jim Crow 2.0. Democracy. That's how it works, baby. That's how it works. It's Jim Crow 2 when you do it, but it's democracy when we do it to you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, JD has been absolutely on fire. Bro has been obliterating California, exposing so much fraud in California. It's insane. But the voter fraud's also crazy. So while these people will bitch about elections, all right, how we're silencing the black vote so the black people don't get power to vote for people to be retarded in Congress, whatever the fuck he's pushing. All right, meanwhile, all that's happening, the most unbelievable amount of voter fraud is found in his place. It's almost like they're trying to steal elections, actually. It's almost like every accusation is really just a confession.
Guys, we're going to talk about that in a second, but it's unbelievable how much you have been fleeced by your own government over the past 15, 20, 30 years. Nobody was looking at this. Nobody was asking difficult questions like, for example, are dead people getting food stamps? Okay?
Good question.
Call me old-fashioned, but I don't think that dead people eat, so certainly they don't need food stamps. Unfortunately,
they vote.
They vote for Democrats.
They
don't vote for us, my friends.
The hard
but
truth.
Why is it that we have people who are driving Lamborghinis? And that is true. People driving Lamborghinis who are getting low-income assistance that's supposed to go for housing and food for our people. Why is it that we have, guys, we're going to talk about
so
that.
they vote. All right. So we're taking dead people off food stamps. We're taking dead people off voter rolls. It's just, and JD's been doing a fantastic job in all of those fields. He really has. Now, the crazy thing is Karen Bass, the current mayor of LA, is probably going to lose her election. I just covered this yesterday, but it looks like she's actually losing her election in Los Angeles to a Republican, to the point that people are calling her out in the street with his talking points.
Karen Bass is here to talk about homelessness. Inside Safe, we have spent how much, Karen? How much? $400 million to house, what, 1,500 people permanently? You are a failure.
True.
An absolute failure. And
True.
you come here for your little media event.
True.
You have failed the city of LA, Karen.
True. Cooker.
We are spending hundreds of thousands per person in Inside Safe.
That's right.
Half of them end up back out on the street.
Facts.
The city is filthy. You've cut funding for everything. You've cut funding for street
And
services.
she's a nasty bitch. Don't forget that. That's also
for
true.
street lighting.
That's right. You suck.
For sanitation.
That's
Don't touch
right.
me. Please don't touch me.
Don't touch him.
You could be nice.
This is his freedom of speech. Wait, these people have been fucking our country raw, throwing bricks at police officers and calling it freedom of speech. He can't give this bitch a piece of his mind when she burnt his fucking house down, and they're gonna say that it's that you have to be nice. Have to be nice. Show me where in the Constitution does it say I have to be nice.
I don't care about your media.
Like, this lady is going on some sort of media tour, going around to homeless people to talk about homeless people. She made people homeless. Their houses burned down and she did nothing. They're saying maybe they could get the houses rebuilt in a decade. What?
The people of LA have real questions.
We're about to get started.
I'll wait till she talks. I'll let Hugo talk. You guys want to have your little rally for Karen Bass.
That's right. You guys here with your gay orgy for retard McGoogle over here, but I am going to be incredibly annoying. That's right. We are using leftist tricks now. We can also be bitches. We are fundamentally strong. In a Western feminized society, like unfortunately the entire West became somehow, bitching is now a superpower. You see, when two men want to iron out some beef, they beat the shit out of each other. When women want to iron out some beef, they bitch for eternity. Complete reputation, destruction, and infinite bitchiness. Now, we are getting with the program, and you really don't like it seems. So yeah, California, complete mess, but apparently it got even worse. All right, California's like giga cooked. They're missing kids. This is insane. Even the leftoids are turning on the Democroids for this one.
This Democrat candidate for governor just destroyed his own career, getting caught on camera, pathetically pleading.
By the way, this is a profile piece. This is not a gotcha piece, right?
Well, look, I think these questions are fair.
You're not gonna ask me hard questions on libtard media, right?
In order to learn about you as a candidate.
So long as about the profile.
I don't know how you define profile, but I'd like to begin the interview.
The way I describe profile is you talk about all the things that I've done, things I want to do.
This idiot.
In other words, he goes onto the media, he's like, I really want you to just go up there and say all of the cool shit that I've done. Basic me, make me look really cool and awesome. Don't address the missing children.
Really thinks he's running for dictator, already expecting propaganda pieces from his preferred media outlet.
During your time as HHS secretary, a New York Times investigation found the health department couldn't find some 85,000 children it had released.
Oops! You lost 85,000 children. Oopsie poopsie. Wow! Did that happen?
That's not accurate. What you just read is not accurate. First, that's what I'll say, because it was never the case that we could not find kids. You're essentially, I don't know if you got
We
those
knew where they were. We knew exactly where the dungeons were located. Calm down.
talking points from Donald Trump.
Oh, the Donald Trump talking points that was reported by the New York Times.
From a New York Times article.
That's not what the New York Times article said. The New York
The agency could not reach more than 85,000 children. Overall, the agency lost immediate contact with a third of the migrant children. Listen, man, I've said this before and I get shit for it every time I say it. The Democrat Party, literally, their border policies did infinitely more damage to children than Jeffrey Epstein. And it's not even close. It's really not even close. Every single time a lefty yells about Jeffrey Epstein, just remember that 85,000 children were missing over here. Just in this one instance alone. 85,000 kids. 85,000.
Times said that individuals, the children and their sponsors, did not respond to calls. They didn't say we couldn't find kids.
Yeah, they said we lost contact, but we just lost contact because the phone hung up. No, they called us right back.
Working overnight in slaughterhouses, replacing roofs, operating machineries in factories, children as young as 14 years old.
That part occurred after these children had left the care of Department of Health and Human Services.
To let these children go into those individual sponsors in their responsibility.
Some of these kids, probably because they needed to earn some money.
So first it was, that was a MAGA.
Yeah, bro, they do this every single time. First, it didn't happen. Then it's a right-wing conspiracy. Donald Trump said it. Then it's happening, but only a little. Now it's happening, but it's a good thing because they needed the money. Oh my God, bro, this is fucking brutal. Dude, we're going to get this is for the governor race. Right? We are going to get a Republican mayor and a Republican governor in California and in LA, respectively. That's insane. Like, people are like, oh, the red wave is not happening. The red wave is happening, all right? And even if it doesn't happen now, it's happening. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to human beings, and we are just tired of the shit.
Narrative. 2. The New York Times didn't write exactly that. Well, okay. That was what was reported, but they only went missing after we passed them along to finally, yeah, we let it happen, but they gotta work, right? It's almost as bad as when busloads of undocumented individuals arrived at NYC and Democrats tried to explain them being sold into slavery was just survival work.
True.
A big influx
They've been fighting for slavery for a very long time on the Democrat side of the aisle.
of human trafficking. Women on the street, children on the
I love how the
street.
Democrats always make the right-wing people seem like that they're the pro-slavery party. Meanwhile, every single time ever, like the right-wing abolished slavery. All right, it was Christian ethics that abolished slavery. It was Republicans. It was right-wing every time. And then you got left-wing violence when they assassinated Abraham Lincoln. All right, like let's be honest, it's the craziest shit ever. It's literally like this has been happening forever. We're just not allowed to talk about it because these motherfuckers own the media. The woke Jews at it again.
What's going on? What can you do about that?
What we're seeing, especially along Roosevelt Avenue, is a lot of survival work, right? So we
Slavery.
see street vending, we see people waiting to be picked up by construction contractors as day laborers, we see sex workers, we see all sorts of things.
Whores. Prostitutes and whores. They are literally enslaved whores to be pimped out to survive. What are we doing? This is New York. Why are we taking this like it's normal? This is not normal. This is not our culture.
That people have to do in order to survive. That's why we call it survival work.
All right, we need to bring back slavery, according to the left, I guess. We just need to do it. Oh, you can't get a job? That's okay. You become my slave, and I will feed you 3 meals a day. You just gotta do it to survive, I guess.
And while there is human trafficking,
Cotton not gonna pick itself.
the law, unfortunately, does not help distinguish between those who are who are trafficked and who are not. For us to actually
That's right. That's why we need to deport all of them, actually. Problem solved. Wow.
able to find those bad guys and catch them.
Browno removo. That's my new Harry Potter spell for deporting illegal aliens.
How many times did Democrats have to openly admit we're okay with missing migrant kids being sold into slavery as long as they can benefit politically, for ordinary Americans to stop supporting this? As Becerra's running for California's governor, who just witnessed an ICE raid on a pot farm to which the Democrats fought the feds to stop them.
And I'm also working with our governor's office and our state attorney general's office to see if we can explore legal...
How's this guy a mayor? Like, who's electing these retards? You do realize that the young men of America are going to take this country by storm. We are going to win every single election in this fucking country. I think you're not... People are so not aware. Like, everyone's tired of this bullshit. But we are going to take the country. Little by little, piece by piece. It might not happen overnight, but it'll happen slowly. And we will, objectively just take the country.
Avenues to just stop these operations from occurring.
From eventually rescuing at least 10 unaccompanied kids working on a pot farm. But the more we look into how Becerra's history may directly implicate him, the worse it gets. As after the interview, the media still wouldn't let him slither away.
Talks for a plea deal with the DOJ over this case. You're certain that there's nothing that she could say in those conversations that might implicate you in any way?
I'm moving forward. As I said, everyone will be accountable for their actions. We're moving forward.
For the voters in California who might look at that situation and wonder if you have the chops to manage a crisis as governor, what do you say?
So first, you've conflated a lot of different things that are unrelated into one question.
What are we doing here, bro? If you're going to be the governor, you're going to have to deal with all the things. All right? Like, what are we talking about?
Remember what we inherited. When I came in as secretary, we took over from an administration that had been putting kids in cages.
Again parroting the whole kids in cages hoax, which were actually Obama's cages, and even if it was Trump's, how is processing them to go back home better than letting them be sold? Which is why he doesn't like being questioned.
Bro be like, yeah, we did slavery and child trafficking, but like, at least they weren't deported. Leftoids, baby, they fucking suck!
On it, running away like the rat that he is.
And we move forward, and on my watch, we're very proud of the care that
voice crack
provided these children.
We're very proud that when we sold them into slavery, they at least got fair wages. Only a little bit of rape, you know. Like, if we think about it, that's all right. You gotta live.
2 minutes. So much.
Yikes! They killed him.
This is a serious issue that some people want to see him get prosecuted for, as he's using the same tired excuse he had while serving under Biden, which provided nothing. So you'd think he'd come up with a better excuse, as he's constantly being accused of this.
Mr. Becerra, are you proud that you pushed out 85,000 migrant children? They were, according to the New York Times, they were maimed, they were exploited, some were even killed.
That's a genocide.
You said those are MAGA talking points. It's a MAGA hoax. Tell that to the children who died. So I'm not sure what that had to
I can't tell it to the children that died because they're dead already. Checkmate, libtard.
do with homelessness, but cálmate, Antonio, cálmate. Well, I'll tell you what it has to do.
Yes, I caused the genocide of migrants, but hey, I speak Spanish.
Saying calm down in Spanish while the audience laughs is some genuinely sick shit. They're not debating fiscal policies or police budgets. We're talking about missing kids, some of which got sold under the administration he served as HHS secretary. As our own security committee knew about the risks of trafficking after they ended DNA testing at the border, where we used to DNA swab so-called families crossing the border just to verify that they were actually related. But Biden placed max immigration over safety, so it was discontinued under him.
Look, under Trump administration, we did DNA testing, and one pilot, I think it was El Paso, we found almost 1/3 of the families weren't even families.
Wow.
These children were victims of trafficking.
Wow. 1/3. Oh my God. Like, what a nightmare. Every time I even hear about this, it makes me so sad. It really does. Oh my God, dude. Like, no one wants to even engage with these numbers. Every one of these lefties yelling about Jeffrey Epstein when their party literally did infinitely. You know what? I'm going to even go a step further. Every one of these motherfucking retards yelling and screaming about the pretendicide in Gaza, where they lost a war that they started. There were 70,000 people killed in total in Gaza, and around 50,000 of them were Hamas. In this one story alone, they lost 85,000 children to sex trafficking and slavery. Oh my God. You can't even fathom this. It's unfathomable levels of evil that we're just supposed to like, well, that's the left. They love raping kids. So why are we surprised? Why are we surprised? They genocided a third of a Gen Z, actually. 1 million children a year are murdered on the abortion operating table. Why do we care, guys? That's just the left doing classic leftist shit.
And look, this administration lost over 340,000 children that were smuggled in this country, released to unvetted sponsors, now they can't find.
It became a huge issue in Texas.
So one of the biggest problems that we were facing in Texas was when we would come across these large groups of families and unaccompanied children, we never really knew 100% for certain that these were actually families, that they actually belonged together.
And then over in San Diego, California.
And the cartels know that now, that we're not going to be checking. We're not going to be testing to see if those children belong to the adult that's trying to bring them across.
Where reportedly, at least 1 in 10, up to 30% of these kids were not related to the adults that brought them over the border. And horrifically, 60% of them being forced into trafficking drugs or being sold themselves.
Cálmate, Antonio, cálmate. Well, I'll tell you what it had to do.
But Sarah would like you to just calm down about it. Or better yet, journalists shouldn't even be allowed to ask about it. As he does kinda have a point. Why would we worry about the kids he's already lost in the most horrifying forms of slavery imaginable, when we should be more worried about the future kids he's willing to lose? As everything is pointing to, kids went missing under his watch, and any response other than, this was a tragedy. Sleepy Biden was mainly to blame, and this is how we fix it. And anything other than that just means he got away with it the first time, why not do it again, as a standard for Democrats has never been lower. All he has to do...
It's such a nightmare. I'm literally in shock. I'm literally in shock. Actual nightmare shit. And then they be like, I can't believe Trump he went into like a beauty pageant behind the scenes. Trump went into a beauty pageant, guys. Did you not hear? A beauty pageant that he owned, by the way. He went into the changing room like 40 years ago. Oh my God. This is literally leftist talking points. And we just have to sit back and make believe that the child holocaust that these retards have been facilitating is just like actually just cool or whatever.
Who is beat the disgraced congressman that dated Fang Fang, and an insane raging Karen that everybody hates.
True.
Even though this is California, I honestly believe the Republicans are the front runners for governor, with Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton being the only real option to save the state, and more importantly, save the kids. So if you appreciate my concise...
Holy shit, that was insane. I didn't realize it was actually that bad. Like, I knew it was bad, but when you just hear abstract numbers without details, you know, it makes you feel very disconnected for it. But when you actually understand the level of evil that needs to actually happen to facilitate this shit, it's completely unforgivable. And that's why I always say that if you're a leftist, you're either a psychopath or a retard, and there really isn't another option. I have never met one, I don't expect to meet one, and if you just look at their policies, you shouldn't expect to meet one either. People are mad that I go hard as fuck on this shit, but like, what am I supposed to say? It's like, you look at their policy, and it literally all comes out of, like, Satan's handbook. Shuan Head called me out for, like, going too hard on, like, all libtards. Because they're all evil! Or retarded. But they're all evil, man! What do you want from me? I do have to say, though, I very much appreciate the shout-out in your description. I saw that. Tags, and then I don't know who else reacts to this stuff. Asmongold, Asmon, Nux Taku, Nuxanor. So, yeah, no, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Thank you for watching the content. I know the content's great, because all leftists are either evil or psychopaths. Keep staying tuned in. I'm not going to back down, okay?